What's up guys? Ehsan here and welcome back to the channel. In the previous episodes we pretty much took care of everything we needed to do in Fountainhead Palace. The only thing left now is to fight the main boss of this area, and after that we'll be heading into the final stage of the game. Before anything else, let me show you a funny little similarity between Sekiro and Elden Ring. Miyazaki's fetishes are pretty consistent across all of his games. Just look at Fia in Elden Ring and this lady in Sekiro. They're sitting in almost the exact same static seated pose. But now, let's talk about the main boss of this area. Honestly, if you're about to fight this boss for the first time, I'm actually jealous. What you're about to experience is as good as it gets. You won't find anything quite like this even in From Software's other games, let alone anywhere else. A huge number of the animations and combat interactions you will see during this encounter were created specifically for this boss fight. You won't see them anywhere else in the game. There's a lot to unpack here. Once this Sekiro walkthrough is finished, I'm planning to make a full analysis video about the mechanics behind this incredible game, because I have a lot to say about them. But for now, just take my word for it. What From Software pulled off with this boss is on another level. On paper, Sekiro's mechanics are actually quite simple and limited, but they were designed with so much precision and flexibility that this fight can show you completely new animations and interactions without ever abandoning the game's core language: attacking, deflecting, grappling, plunging death blows, and lightning reversal. Divine Dragon is probably the clearest example of Sekiro's entire combat design philosophy. This boss still uses mechanics the game has already taught us: the grappling hook, plunging death blows, and lightning reversal, but it never repeats any of them in exactly the same way. During the first phase, the grappling hook puts you in position to perform a completely unique death blow, turning the enemy's own body into a weapon against the others. During the second phase, the grappling hook being launched into the air and lightning reversal are no longer three separate mechanics. Together, they become the only way to damage the Divine Dragon. And at the very end, instead of simply playing a cutscene, the game lets you complete the spectacle yourself with another completely unique death blow. Sekiro doesn't stop being a game Whenever it wants to become cinematic, it becomes cinematic through the mechanics themselves. What Sekiro is doing here is called mechanical composability. It means that each mechanic is designed to be clear, independent, and flexible enough that a boss designer can place it into completely different situations without having to invent an entirely new system or control scheme. And honestly, that's one of the most valuable and most difficult achievements in combat system design. The player doesn't have to constantly learn new rules. The skills they've already developed remain relevant. The designers gain far more creative freedom. The game maintains a consistent identity. And all of that creates a huge range of experiences from a very limited set of mechanical actions. That's the exact opposite of games that create variety by constantly introducing new weapons, abilities, quick-time events, or temporary rules. Those games create variety by adding more content. Sekiro creates variety by recombining its existing systems. But that kind of freedom doesn't come for free. For this approach to work, every core mechanic has to be readable and responsive from day one. It has to remain reliable across different distances and situations, work properly with the animation and camera systems, and combine naturally with the game's other mechanics. Good design doesn't necessarily give the player more tools. It finds more possibilities inside the tools they already have. But let's save the rest of this discussion for that analysis video I promised you. For now, let's get into the fight and enjoy everything it has to offer.
様、何があった？
一心様は病にて見まかられました。
そうか。
それを察知したのでしょう。ナイフの軍がその機に乗じ、この城に攻め寄せています。
巫女様は
これを
この鍵、巫女様は場外への抜け穴か？
はい、狼殿。月見楼がある水の手クルアの堀、その終端にある抜け穴に向かってください。九郎様はその抜け穴から場外へ脱し、すすきの原であなたを待っているはず。
わかった。
一心様の命にて、夜鷹の衆が目印ののろしを屋根上に置いています。夜鷹ののろしをたどり、九郎様を追ってください。九郎様は月見楼がある水の手クルアの堀、その終端にある抜け穴にすすきの原で、一心様の命にて夜鷹の狼殿。
なんだ？
九郎様が人となる、それを祈っております。
ああ。
流害になった者は、人が人として生きるための当たり前の力を奪われています。故に血がよどむのでしょう。
どうやって治す？
奪ったものを返せばいい。これを受け取ってください。九郎様がそれを。
Back in the early episodes, we talked about how harsh the game can be when you die repeatedly. And we also explained how the recovery charm works. If you've died a lot by this point, you've probably already received this item. But either way, the game will give it to you here. The first time I played Sekiro, if I remember correctly, I think I got this item during that very first mini-boss fight. As you can see, the Interior Ministry forces have launched their full-scale invasion on Ashina, and it's a complete, chaotic cluster here. Everyone is slaughtering everyone, and we, as a badass shinobi, represent the third faction in this madness, meaning absolutely anyone who spots us is gonna try to kill us. We've got Ashina forces on one side, Interior Ministry troops on the other, and then there's us, completely on our own. From here on out, our main enemies are gonna be these Interior Ministry. And let me tell you, they are built like absolute tanks. Well, the sculptor isn't here. We'll find out why later, and trust me, we're not gonna like the reason he left. But for now, it's time to upgrade our prosthetic tools. We've officially entered the final phase of the game, so I think this is a good time to start farming sand and upgrade materials. We can unlock almost every prosthetic tool upgrade during this first playthrough. The only exceptions are two of the lazulite upgrades. To complete the entire upgrade tree, we need 10 lapis lazuli in total, but each playthrough only gives us a maximum of 6. So no matter which upgrades we choose this time around, two of our prosthetic tools will have to wait until a later playthrough. To make the farming process a little easier, we should unlock Virtuous Deed from the Temple Arts skill tree as soon as possible. It increases the amount of Sen enemies drop and also improves their item drop rate. We'll definitely earn enough skill points while we're farming, so the moment we have enough, we should unlock it. We're also going to ring the Demon Bell. This basically activates the game's optional hard mode, making enemies tougher in exchange for better item drops. And once we're done farming, we can simply use the Bell Demon item to remove the effect and return the game to its normal difficulty. For farming Sen, as well as two important upgrade materials, Lump of Fat Wax and Lump of Grave Wax, one of the best spots is right here in Fountainhead Palace at the Flower Viewing Stage Sculptor's Idol. There are other options, of course. Some enemies in Mibu Village also have a chance to drop Lump of Fat Wax, but if you want to farm Sen, Fat Wax and Grave Wax at the same time, this is probably one of the best farming spots in the game. We've also collected plenty of balloons throughout the playthrough. To increase the amount of Sen you receive, use a Mibu Balloon of Wealth. And to improve your chances of getting item drops, use a Mibu Possession Balloon. You can use both balloons at the same time if you want to increase your Sen and item drops together. To avoid burning through the spirit emblems you already have stored, make sure to use the ceremonial Tanto, and to make the farming route much easier, use Gachin Spirit Fall as well. With this setup, you won't have to waste any consumable items, and as long as you use the temporary spirit emblems from the Tanto, you won't need to touch the ones you have in storage either. And remember, spirit emblems can always be purchased, so having plenty of Sen basically means having plenty of spirit emblems. For farming adamantite scrap and even coin purses, one of the best spots, in my opinion, is the Hirata Audience Chamber Sculptor's Idol, where we can repeatedly kill this damn blue spear monk. And you already know what absolute these guys are. First, break through this paper wall, then immediately head back and rest at the Sculptor's Idol. As long as you don't travel to another idol, the wall will stay broken, so you won't have to make any noise and alert the nearby enemies every time you repeat the route. After that, you can easily sneak up behind the blue spear monk, take him out with a stealth death blow, and keep farming him. But there's one particular prosthetic tool we need to talk about, the Golden Vortex. First of all, this prosthetic tool can instantly take out these enemies at Senpo Temple. According to its description, it gathers a brilliant golden wind and releases it, forcing any enemies caught in the vortex to turn around. It can also be used twice in a row. But that's not the ability we're interested in right now. The Golden Vortex can also make enemies drop sand and items. That means once we unlock it, we won't even need to fight enemies or perform a stealth death blow to farm their loot. I don't have enough sand to unlock the upgrade just yet, so let me farm a little more first. After that, I'll show you how useful the Golden Vortex can be for farming Fulminated Mercury, one of the rarest upgrade materials in the entire game. In my opinion, the best place to farm Fulminated Mercury is right here at the Ashina Castle Sculptor's Idol, using the Golden Vortex on these interior ministry soldiers. Make sure you also use Gachin's Spirit Fall, the Ceremonial Tanto, and Amiibo Possession Balloon to make the farming process faster and more efficient. Another way to farm Fulminated Mercury in this area is by using Blood Smoke Ninjutsu. Every time you activate Blood Smoke, any nearby enemy caught in the smoke becomes vulnerable to a stealth death blow. So as long as you have enough spirit emblems, you can keep chaining death blows and use this method as an alternative to the Golden Vortex. Once we wrap up this episode, I'm going to farm all the materials we need for the prosthetic tool upgrades off camera so we can start the next episode by upgrading as many of them as possible. We're entering the final stretch of the game now, and pretty much everything we have left is going to be at its most difficult. So trust me, some of these prosthetic tools are definitely going to come in handy. Of course, the choice is completely yours. But since I promised you a full platinum walkthrough, I'm going to collect every material we need for these upgrades because the prosthetic tools are tied to several trophies in the game. And as always, take care of yourselves, stay tuned for the next episode, and I'll see you there.